Hello and welcome to the life of an Olympic athlete. You find us in East London where we're at the Olympic Stadium, where just shy of 4 years ago it was the main stage for the Olympic Games. As you can see at the moment, construction is well underway, ready for West Ham United to move in at the start of the next football season. But the main question today is, what is life like as an Olympic athlete? Andy Tennant has burst onto the cycling scene over the last 4 years, but a self-proclaimed coffee lover hasn't had the easiest of rides. Just a stone's throw away from here is his favourite coffee shop in Bethnal Green, so we arranged to meet him there. Tennant's ride to the top hasn't been without overwhelming challenges. It has seen him overcome a variety of health issues, which nearly ended his career before it started.
I was definitely overweight. When I started cycling, I was pretty useless, to be honest. I'd do handicap races and start 6 laps up and finish 6 laps down. I wasn't what you'd class as an elite athlete, and at that age, I wasn't seen to be someone that would be successful in sport. Let alone making my career and out of sport. Obviously I was diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia, or SVT for short, when I just started around cycling. I had a couple of attacks. One was on a bouncy castle and one was playing basketball in JJB, so random. And to be honest, I just had an operation, and then I've never had to look back since really for that one, so that was quite easy. And then regards the eating disorder, within cycling, it's, in terms of road cycling, a lot is to do with sort of power to weight ratio. And obviously it's quite difficult to increase your power. And it's a lot easier to drop your weight. Yeah. Cycling as a general sport is obsessed with weight. So I developed that sort of disorder, really trying to maximise performance. That's where it came from for me. It wasn't sort of vanity in terms of look, etc. It was trying to be the best I could on the bike. Okay. The actual fact, it had the polar opposite. It made me a lot worse. I'm better off being fat and fast than skinny and shit, is what I said at the time. Sorry for swearing, but yeah. So that's where those two came from. And then you probably don't know, but I got a blood clotting disorder, which is just hereditary that I can't do anything about. But yeah, I suppose there is a few sort of physical sort of, not disabilities, but drawbacks that I've had there, sort of hurdles I've had to overcome.
We now travel to Southampton to meet Solent University's athletics captain and 2018 Winter Olympic hopeful Abby Davis. Abby is in contention to make the GB bobsleigh team for the next Winter Games. As a multi-skilled athlete, she has kindly agreed to talk about what athletes fear most.
So basically, we were just training in Switzerland, going down the ice track. It was like a training run, and then at the end we crashed. So basically, at the end of a training run, there's like a ice wall, which obviously stops you if your brakes fail. Mm-hmm. So our brakes failed and we crashed into the wall. Unfortunately, I took the brunt of the crash, and my feet smacked into like metal pegs where your feet sit when you're in the sled. So basically my injury was I fractured my left foot and bruised the bones, and I sort of tore the ligaments in the other foot. Okay. So I was sort of not walking for 1 or 2 weeks, and yeah, unfortunately I had to fly home. Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, it wasn't easy for them to sort of send me home, obviously, but there was no way I could have been out there watching everyone compete. But it would have been sort of psychologically damaging, I suppose, to watch everyone keep competing. So they took the decision to send me home and sort of rehab me back in England. And then I sort of came back to uni, where the Team Solent did an amazing job of like getting me back actually walking and like being able to jog. I mean, I sort of had to start again with my feet. So they've been the most help, definitely. I mean, the setup has been great, and I've only just sort of come back from the injury now.
James Grant is part of the High Performance Academy here at Solent and explained his role in Abby's rehabilitation.
Yeah, Abby is someone that's always kind of got a smile on her face, which is great. But unfortunately, she's also had probably 2 or 3 quite kind of big injuries in terms of the time frames. And things that are niggling little injuries, so stuff that she knows if she doesn't do the work in the gym that she needs to be and she's not training appropriately, not getting enough sleep, that little things will kind of flare up. But because she's had 2 or 3 quite big injuries, she now knows like the process, so she can keep herself kind of going through that process as well. So she's probably one of the easier ones to support with that because she's just aware of how it works. She's worked with several physios before, knows the environment, like the performance environment, pretty well.
To aid the physical demands of a pro cyclist like Andy Tennant, he would have to increase his daily calorie intake by 600% of an average male's diet. That results in an incredible consumption of 12,000 calories when he is in a phase of intense physical training or competition. But what did one worldwide star do on the morning of his Olympic gold medal event? Sports nutrition expert Adam Lewis reveals all.
Famously, for in the Olympics, Usain Bolt on the day of his race started for breakfast, had I think about 20 chicken McNuggets, okay, which he wouldn't put down as being ideal sports nutrition, but he still went on to break a world record and to win a gold medal.
So why did he do it?
He was eating it for a specific reason. So there is an enjoyment factor into it, but also he knows he wanted the carbohydrates, the protein, and also salts, which are quite plentiful, which in the average diet you don't want. But on the day of the competition, most of the hard work had been done. But if an athlete felt that they could eat like that all the time, then they're not going to reach the elite levels.
Why is having a tailored diet important?
Diet is critical. Your body adapts to the training stimulus that you give it through its recovery, and nutrition provides it the nutrients that it needs to recover. So you could be slogging your guts out in the gym for years trying to develop, but if you're not giving it the building blocks to then go away and rebuild itself with, you're just not going to see the fruits of your labour.
For the average athlete, 55% of their daily nutrition is taken up by carbohydrates. This equates to the equivalent of consuming 41.8 sweet potatoes or 244 slices of wholemeal bread per day of training. Evidently, this is incredibly difficult to actually consume, let alone buy. So what is the answer?
So day to day, supplements would help, say, deliver the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbohydrates post-workout to allow you to recover. It saves you having to think, saves you having to cook, saves you having to do the washing up afterwards. If you're travelling from training to work or to study, it saves you having to prepare anything, carry anything. It's just in a sachet, add water, drink it, it's done. So that's where they really come into their own convenience. The Tour de France example I gave you, to get 12,000 calories in from real food, that's a lot. If you're going to do it with supplements, it's a lot easier. So from a palatability sense as well, it's easier to get in more through supplements.
With injuries and specific details of nutrition taken care of, even that can't elevate you to a level where the Team GB selectors want to pick you for your own home games.
Obviously, I built up all that time for the games in 2012, and I knew that opportunity had passed. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't gutted. I still am now. You know, obviously, that's one opportunity that went that I'll never see in my lifetime, let alone be able to compete and get a gold medal in. And it's disappointing. It's a bit of a story, obviously, but for me, as soon as that race was over, I just wanted to get out of that Olympics. And I don't really see any positives to my Olympics in London. I enjoyed experiences in it, but the overall weight of it is a negative for me. I didn't get a gold. It was I didn't get my chance to ride. So really, I don't see myself having competed in London personally.
So what did he do? He jetted off to Southeast Asia on holiday when he knew his chance would not arrive.
But yeah, no, I did. I packed my bags, hacked along to the tube, dragged them around, and stopped in a hotel with my girlfriend and didn't watch any more Olympics, to be honest. Forgot the Olympics existed. Went to Borneo on holiday, and that was it, really. Yeah, it was nice going away to Borneo, to be honest, because if I'd been in the UK, it would have been obviously the Olympics was in my face, so over there it was easy to forget about.
But Tennant has put behind the squabbles of 2012 and is now aiming for a gold medal.
Quite a few people sum it up that anything other than gold scrap metal, which it sort of is really. It's a bad way to look at it in many circumstances, but that's the problem with being a sort of successful team. You expect it to win and you sort of expect it of yourself, so when you don't, you're disappointed, but that's also what drives us on to be the best. So yeah, it's a catch-22 situation, but hopefully, like you say, in Rio, can come back with an Olympic medal, and I'd much prefer it to be gold than any other one. But you know, I wouldn't say I'd be disappointed with winning any other colour. You know, I'd be happy with an Olympic medal, but it's definitely gold I want.
We now reach a crossroads where we have heard a lot about what it takes to become an athlete, but what happens when an athlete's career concludes? After all, as Olympic journalist David McDade says, a career of an Olympian may only last for 10 to 15 years.
You know, the life of an athlete is reasonably short compared to, you know, the sort of the active career life I'm talking about is reasonably short. You know, like a top level athlete will maybe have sort of 10 to 15 years longevity. And so from their point of view, it's really important to not just cement themselves in the public eye as you know, top athletes, but also as interesting people, as nice people, as role models, because after they finish their athletics career or whatever sport it is that they do, then you know they'll have to do something else. Most of the sort of Olympic sports athletes probably won't make a lot of money that they'll be able to retire on. Mm-hmm. So it's important for them to kind of build a public persona and then sort of capitalise on that. And that's one of the things, if I take an example, you know, Lewis Smith, the gymnast, after he had success in London 2012, he made the most of his success in his public profile, and he did Strictly Come Dancing, and he did various other commercial opportunities. So, so that's one thing. From their point of view, it's important to portray a very positive persona, but also in terms of inspiring young people. I think that it's important for them to show a positive sort of role model attitude, because the current athletes are the ones who are going to inspire the next generation to get into their sport.
As our journey concludes, we still have time to visit Andy Tennant one more time, but this time in Windsor. With the sun shining in the Queen's hometown, Tennant discussed the key traits to any successful athlete.
Perseverance is the key. I was rubbish when I started cycling, so just because you're not good when you first start doesn't mean that you can't, you know, win later on in a couple of years. It takes a few years to get used to cycling, so I think perseverance and keep trying.
That's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed our journey. Before you go, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Harry_Cardno. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.